Hey, what's up guys, Kadachi here and welcome back to the channel. Got a new build for you guys today. I've been working on this for about a week now and I finally got it to a point where I feel like it's basically ready to go. It's going to be a Poison Burst Arrow Titan. So I wanted to show you guys this Zesh fight in particular. As I've been going over in my last few videos, when it comes to projectiles and Zesh, at least on Xbox controller, I haven't heard this problem anywhere else. They don't seem to work 100% properly, which then causes low DPS output. Now this seems to be the only boss this has like an issue on, or I've ever had an issue on. Any boss that's grounded seems to work perfectly fine, as you're about to see with this King of the Mist kill. So hopefully GGG can address this and fix it, and it should be good to go on consoles, or if this is just an Xbox issue. But any M&K build should be able to run this and work perfectly fine for Zesh. Now, in terms of the skill itself, we are using Poison Burst Arrow as our main DPS for Ad Clear and bossing, and we use Dark Effigy and Stormcaller Arrow to scale Shock Mag and add Withered. We are also making use of the new quiver, Kadiro's Gambit, throughout the entire usage of the build. It's actually really good for boss DPS, and obviously everyone knows it's really good for Ad Clear. In terms of affordability, everything in the build is quite affordable, or you should at least have a copy of it somewhere, except for the bow, of course. That will always be the most expensive part, so if you can get that, you should be good to go. With all that being said, let's get into the gear. So starting with the bow, I did say this was going to be your most expensive purchase. It really is. You do not need like a mirror tier crafted bow, but you do want a high fizz bow with the highest projectile levels you can get. You don't need +2 proj, you can go for +1, and you want the highest base crit. Now I could have went and tried to corrupt this bow and go for a third socket. 1, I was too afraid, but 2, you don't need to, but if you did, it would be much more damage because you don't need +3 arrows in this build. You actually want +3 poison bow. So if you can actually get a bow with another socket, just add another poison to it and that'll skyrocket your DPS. Next we're going to have our first ring. Ideally you're going to want fizz, chaos damage, and triple res. My dream ring would be fizz damage, chaos damage with max life for some more defense, and just triple res. So try to pick something up like that. For your next ring, you're going to want to get a Ming's Heart with the highest extra chaos damage corrupt, but the lowest reduced max life corrupt. These can get quite pricey. You don't need a super crazy corrupt one. I would just focus on getting the reduced max life as low as possible. For the chest piece, it's going to be a Warriors with attributes, all Ellie res, and spirit. Now you can go for a more defensive setup with max life, Ellie res, and spirit, but I decided to go for attributes since we're running jack of all trades and I want more damage. For the gloves, we will be running Maligaro's Virtuosity. Now most poison builds are running Snakebite for the plus poisons, but since we're running so many plus poisons on our bow and even support, you have no need for Snakebite, and I would rather just run Maligaro's for the 300% flat crit bonus, and I don't have to invest at all into crit bonus. For your amulet, you just want to get an Astramantis. It doesn't need to be a max roll, it can be like 80. You really just want enough attributes to be able to run everything, but the higher the attributes on the Astramantis, the more damage you will have because we are running jack of all trades. You're going to be anointing this with binding toxins, or building toxins, I'm sorry. This is going to give you another poison for the build, so more damage. For the helmet, you're going to want to get a Deepest Tower with a 20 spirit or above corrupt, and you can just socket that with a enemy's curse have negative chaos res. For the boots, you're just going to look for the highest movement speed, highest max life, and double res. Now that we're running Astramantis, I don't need the 30 strength, but I'm also getting damage off of it, so I decided to keep it on. For your belt, you're going to be running Rislatha's Coil. Haven't really seen this used much this league, but it is really good for this setup. I have a very good corrupt. You can just get a normal one. You really just want the less minimum to be lower, but the more maximum to be as high as possible. As for the final piece, you're going to want to pick up the Kadero's Gambit, and you're probably wondering how this is scaling our poison damage so much. The crescendo arrow in the build gives you, I'm pretty sure it's probably 40 to 60 increased damage every time the bow chains, and the bow chains 6 times. So you're getting a very large damage increase, but this also makes it to where you kind of have to be in a boss fight that would allow the bow to chain, being King of the Mist or Zest or any boss that's in a room with walls. So as long as you can chain, you're getting the full effect of the poison damage. Diamond arrows also guarantee crit, so that's also really good. Other than that, the Corrupt on mine makes it very pricey. You can just use a regular Kaderos. I literally just bought this yesterday. We're very starved for res in this build, so we're kind of just putting res runes wherever we can fit them. For our charms, you're going to be using the Freeze charm, and then we're going to be using the Rite of Passage of the Serpent. This gives us more poison magnitude and just a lot of damage. And then we're just going to be using the Forsaken Bangle for some Chaos Res. These are just some items you can choose to run as different preferences. You can use the Spirit of the Wolf Rite of Passage. And here's the other warriors I was talking about, where you can pick up max life instead of attributes. For the boots, you can pick up stun threshold instead of strength, just to help with royal riding and mapping. And I often tend to swap to headhunter for mapping, not a necessity, but it gives us stun threshold, and just getting modifiers helps with ad clear. You can keep on Rislatas if you want to, but having one of these is just really good. And if you're interested in seeing the tooltips that you should be at for this skill, here you are. And if you would like to see the links to all the skills, here they are. Now let's get into the skill tree. So for the Ascendancy, you're just going to be wanting to take the 50 increased passive skill nodes and the more maximum life. The node over here for the more armor isn't too necessary since we don't have a lot of armor on our chest piece, but it's really all we can take. I mean, we can take crushing blows, but that's completely up to you. For the tree, anything in green is set to our weapon set 2 for our Dark Effigy, really just skill effect duration and more cast speed for totems. But we're just going to start by going up here. We're going to grab this node for the increased damage against shocked enemies, because we are going to be shocking. And we're going to grab blood magic over here. You're going to want to get a from nothing with unwavering stance to get the low life nodes down over here. Then you can come to the middle of the tree. You also want to get a Prism of Belief with Poison Burst Arrow. Those aren't too expensive right now, but we're going to come here, take the attack damage nodes, get the magnitude of ailments for our shock, and we're also going to be getting the two-handed damage nodes here and here. And then you're going to pick up the entire low life tree here. I'm going down here to get Jack of all trades and a bunch of other attribute nodes. We're also going to come over here and grab the ailment tree. This helps with scaling up poison to do more damage faster, and this is just more ailment stuff, while also giving us damages with hits against enemies affected by ailments. I decided to put my Against the Darkness time loss here with extra chaos damage and spirit. If you were to go for anything, I would go for the extra spirit first, as these are quite pricey, and we're just taking these nodes all around here. And this is also being affected as well. We're going to pick up the +1 poison and the increased poison duration. And lastly, we're taking the poison magnitudes up here. And that'll be it for the tree. I actually forgot to mention, our Megalomaniac is really important for the build. You actually want to pick up Leeching Toxins. Your second perk can be whatever you want, but you want Leeching Toxins because it's giving us a 30% increased magnitude of poison and 2% of maximum life on kill recovered for killing a poisoned enemy. Now if you can't get one of these, you can run the jewel, I think it's Cannibalism, and that'll do the effect for you. I typically like to run both of them together to get the maximum effect, but definitely pick up one of these. Lastly, as for the boss rotation, it's actually really simple. I start with Dark Effigy and then I begin to use Vine Arrow. Now, I still don't know if Vine Arrow is actually really benefiting our boss DPS at all. So I'll leave that up to you guys to decide, but I do use Vine Arrow. So Dark Effigy, Vine Arrow, then I'm into Stormcaller Arrow, and then we spam Poison Burst Arrow. And that is the complete boss rotation. With that being said, if you guys did enjoy the video, please leave a like and subscribe. You guys have been showing mad love to these past few videos I've been putting out, and I'm just going to continue to be putting out more as long as we keep getting more builds. So stay tuned, and I will see you guys in the next one.